And once again, we meet on a Thursday evening, the last Thursday for the month of September. The year is 2024. Hello and welcome for your edition of Temidlalo. Once again, brought to you by Eswatini TV in conjunction with the title sponsor, KFC Eswatini. Some of the topics to take center stage this evening includes the official visit of the Commonwealth Games Federation President, that is Chris Jenkinson, with the board of 14 members that are in the kingdom to host their first ever board meeting outside Europe, the first meeting to be held on the African continent. As you can see, the Olympic movement board members, including the executive, also were at the airport yesterday to welcome the 14 members. So we'll talk about that. We'll have a sit-down conversation with the Chief Executive Officer of the Olympic movement, Mr. Maxwell, just to get the story behind the visit. It's a milestone, it's an achievement. They are here. What does that mean for the sports fraternity? And later on, we'll also have special guests all the way from Hungary. They were representing the country in the recent chess Olympiad. As you can see, that's the males team that was competing under the open section. They returned home with a bronze medal. We have the officials, especially from the category of the open section, and also the ladies section that finished fifth in the competition. Otherwise, at some point, we move on to other subjects, including the under-20 national team that opened the COSAFA tournament in Mozambique on a high note with that 5-4 victory against Mozambique, which means they are just ready to kick and go, because the next game against Botswana and then Zimbabwe, so it gives them a chance to progress to the next stage and probably qualify for the AFCON 2025. Now, without wasting any time, I'm joined in the studio by the Olympic movement, that is a friend to this institution, a friend to the media, and a friend to the sports fraternity at large. That is Maxwell Jele, a well-vested personnel in the sports industry, having served in different other sporting courts, but now the Chief Executive Officer of the Eswatini Olympic Commonwealth Games Association in the Kingdom. So we've been privileged to have the visit of President Chris Jenkinson. I mean, he was elected in office in December last year with the board, but they're here in the kingdom. How did we come to have such occasion for them to be here in the country? For starters, yes, let me greet you.
Thanks. Yeah. Correct, Fabrice. Let me take this opportunity to, first of all, thank you for having me here tonight, and take the opportunity to also greet all the viewers at home. Yes, it is indeed correct, Fabrice, that the board of the CGF is in fact hosting its board meeting outside London for the very first time in the recent history of the organization, in fact, and the first time in Africa. This is a momentous occasion for us as a country and as a CGA, a Commonwealth Games Association. It's a very big honor for us, Fabrice, from the perspective that, to the board of the CGF is the highest decision-making entity that runs the organization. And this includes individuals from all over the world, Australia, the Caribbean, Europe, and Africa as well. So to have the president, the vice presidents, the chief executive officer, and the board members is a very big honor for us. This took a bit of a while. There were discussions behind the scenes, Fabrice, I must admit. We had meetings with the CGF in March this year, when we were at the African Games in Accra. In fact, there was a special sitting of the CGF and its members in Accra, where we had discussions about the programs that the CGF is running. The biggest flagship program, as you are aware, is the Commonwealth Games. The last Commonwealth Games were held in Birmingham 2022, where we also participated as a country, which were then followed by the Commonwealth Youth Games, which were held in Trinidad and Tobago, where we also participated as a country. So the Commonwealth Sport, or CGF, has got a wide range, of programs that we participate in, even beyond the games themselves. So to have them here in the country, is a very big opportunity for us to showcase what we have as a country, to also have intimate discussions on the possibility of actually hosting some of these games that we're talking about.
Okay. CEO, I think now, just I want us, we have enough time. I want us to have a proper wide conversation over this visit, because not only I noticed from Tuesday when you announced that they'll be visiting us. Yesterday I was personally at the airport and having a short moment with Chris and the president, and he's quite excited. And for some, CEO, just to find out how hard was it to convince them? I mean, they could have chosen South Africa, they could have chosen Nigeria, Morocco, Egypt. These are the powerhouse of the African continent. But for their first outside visit, they decided to say, let's go to Eswatini. Did we tell them something that we pushed them maybe to visit us? Because that's where the convincing part is.
So there's a lot, Fabrice, a lot of factors. But one key factor actually is what has happened in Eswatini over the last 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Some of the significant milestones that we've achieved as an organization, primarily also the issue of the construction of the new headquarters for yoga. So that was a big catch, not only for the Commonwealth, but also for the Olympic movement. As we speak today, the headquarters that we have at Lobamba are the first headquarters of a National Olympic Committee in Africa. You know, so these are big things. There are other programs that we're running. I'll just give you an example that over the last 3 years, we have actually increased our annual operational budget. We've tripled it from 4 million in 2021 to about 13 million. As we speak now in 2024. So what that means is that there are significant programs that we run which we were not running in the past. So I think that this has been a very big catch for the Commonwealth, because they do track what is happening worldwide through their members.
True.
So over and above this, we obviously had discussions, as I mentioned, in March earlier this year, where they showed interest that they would actually like to host their next board meeting outside London, but they obviously had to take a formal decision on where they were going to go to. So we, in fact, got the call a few months after March, where the president himself actually got in touch with us to indicate that his board would like to come to Eswatini.
See, I'm shocked you said to hide this from me. Normally when you have good news, you tell me. Since March, you didn't tell me this. Now let's talk about the profile of these people who are here in the kingdom. Because I think Logunye Bonira, CEO, is that when you just talk about CGF, just to give the people, it's Commonwealth Games Federation. And people just say, who is this guy? Let's talk about the caliber and the profile of this man entering the car and the members that he's living with. He's the president of the Commonwealth. But what type of person are we referring to, and the board itself?
So these are very big people when it comes to world sport.
Yeah.
You know, Fabrice, you are definitely aware that the two biggest multi-sport international events in the world, the first one is the Olympics, where you have 206 countries worldwide that participate in the Olympics. And then the second one is the Commonwealth Games, where you have about 73 you know, members, states that participate in the Commonwealth Games. So these are the biggest multi-sport international games after the Olympics. So that gives you a glimpse of the size of this institution. So the board, as we speak, is a board of 14 that come from all over the world, literally. So coming into Eswatini, they took different flights from their various countries. Some of them traveled for 2 days to get to Eswatini. So we are really privileged, to be honest. And we just want to extend, you know, our gratitude to the leadership of the country that has warmly welcomed the guests here. There's a full program, Fabrice. They're not here on holiday. They are here to work. Including yesterday, last night. This was the program. This was last night. We've had a full day today because the first point today was early this morning with a courtesy call to the Minister of Sport. This was then followed by a courtesy call to the acting Prime Minister, who is our Deputy Prime Minister, who was, in fact, she did mention that she had been tasked or delegated by His Majesty the King to meet the delegation. Okay. So from there, we then officially went to the yoga headquarters, where we had an official photo shoot. They toured the offices. We proceeded to a tree planting session, which was then followed by a formal working session between the two boards the board of yoga and the board of the CGF. And we've just ended a few minutes ago with an official dinner between the two boards.
All right, maybe just to refer back to those visuals, just so that dinner was just to welcome them. But I think if I listened, there were no specific speeches that were there. But I think he did highlight that, you know, that they're excited to be there. How important was this evening in terms of welcoming them?
This was very important because, you know, this was initially the first interaction that they had with the local leadership. So this was very important in terms of welcoming them into the country. We had the ministry that was represented. We had our key partners, the Sports Council that was there. And then we also had, you know, a few board members led by the president of IOGA. So I think just from here, you know, they really started feeling comfortable and welcome into the country. But really the icing on the cake was today, literally. You know, when they also met the Deputy Prime Minister, including the Minister as well.
Yeah, that's prior to the Deputy Prime Minister. Prior to the Deputy Prime Minister, I think this morning you're highlighting. But then what I picked, they even, you know, getting comfortable in using some of the Siswati words. Yeah, I picked one of the member in the morning just greeting us in Siswati. Now, they met the Minister in the morning. The chance was maybe that was last night, but due to other engagement, he couldn't. But they met the Minister and the Principal Secretary, and the entire board was also present. From what I picked also from this visit, there is more work to be done in ensuring that as a country, Commonwealth-wise, we start now making marks in terms of performance. And I'm sure that, you know, in few words that he highlighted, he did promise the minister that they want to work hard to ensure that African countries, including us, will start making a mark in the Commonwealth Games.
Correct, Fabrice. I think that the starting point really for us as Eswatini, you are very aware of some of the programs that we have. But the biggest one really, coming back from the Olympics in Paris, is that we have set ourselves some targets now as we start the new cycle or the new quadrennial. One is to say that the Olympic Games that we come from in Paris are the last games where we are going to attend through universality slots. We're saying that we're putting our heads on the block to say that the Los Angeles 2028 Games, we need to have a few athletes that qualify outright. Now, that includes a lot of factors, Fabrice. We're busy right now. We're finalizing our high-performance strategy, which is going to spell out, you know, the route that we must undertake as an institution. So the onus is not only on us at yoga, but to everybody. Equal responsibility, the national sports federations, because that is whom the athletes belong to. Government, together with other stakeholders, when you start dealing with issues such as infrastructure and financial support, because where we fall short as a country is not on talent. We do have talent as a country. I think that has been proven. The only issue is nurturing the talent and providing the right environment, you know, for our athletes to blossom. Unfortunately, we live in a part of the world where, you know, competition, international competition is very scarce, which is why we find ourselves in situations whereby athletes that are in Europe or America, it's easy for them to qualify because, you know, this qualification game is based on international points. So the more international competitions you participate in, the better the chance you have in terms of acquiring these international points. So we say that besides government that we're looking at in terms of support infrastructure-wise and financially, we want to tap into the private sector now, Fabrice, on a serious note. Because we want to sell this package, you know, to the financial, to the commercial and corporate world. For them to come on board with us, look at what Botswana has done. Look at what Botswana has done.
True.
But the honesty there also is that it is not automatic, unfortunately, Fabrice. It is not magic. You build.
True.
When I was an athlete 30 years ago, 25 years ago, we were ahead of Botswana. But Botswana, from the last 15 years or so, have overtaken us. And it's been a deliberate, intention from their government to invest heavily into sport. So this is what we're looking at as well, and this is what we're saying, that we all have a role to play, but we do have the talent for athletes that can make this country proud.
All right. Now, from that visit with the Minister for Sports, the board, the Commonwealth Games Federation board, they had a brief meeting, obviously, with the acting Prime Minister, and then the main topic was just to exchange some, greetings, but getting a message from His Majesty King Mswati III to feel welcome in the country, and just know that everything is approved. They should have their meeting in peace and everything. But then the biggest part now, moving to the touring of the offices, which is something that you've highlighted. Yes. One thing I picked is that they were comfortable. They were going in their offices, even in your office.
Correct.
They're able to sit. I mean, Chris was able to sit in your office and be comfortable. And then, like you said, they want to see where the support, when they support you, where the support goes. And then I think they were quite impressed with this.
No, they really were, Fabrice, because, sometimes when you think of Africa, especially, these foreigners, they come from very far places. The picture that is in their mind is not what necessarily they saw today. Okay. So, coming here and seeing everything well presented, in order, very smart offices. So this really leaves a very good impression. And this is what our intention was. As they go back to their respective countries and in their next board meetings, I'm sure they will take with them very good memories. Some of the things we explained to them, we had a tree planting session because we also run a sustainability program. Okay, the significance of the tree planting. The significance of the tree planting really is that, a tree planting session signifies new life. And having the board of the Commonwealth in the country for us is like a rebirth. Okay. In terms of our relationship and our positioning with the CGF. They were really thrilled when we also explained to them that these offices are actually powered by solar. Okay. We've got solar panels, so even that on its own, really we are playing our part when it comes to issues of carbon emissions reduction in our society.
What tree, because the question was raised to you as CEO, that what tree are they planting? Because I don't know if it's the same type of tree or the meaning of the tree they're planting, and why is the tree the type of they're planting?
I'll be honest with you, Fabrice. I don't quite know the exact name of these trees, but these are strictly indigenous trees. Okay. You will remember that when we opened these offices early last year, we also had a tree planting session, but those trees did not perform well because they were jacaranda trees. Okay. So what we've decided this time around, looking at our surroundings and the type of soil that we have there, we've got challenges with termites in that area. So you really need, resistant trees that are indigenous, that can withstand any of those, challenges of termites and the like.
And then the memory, of course, the pictures in front of the offices. I'm sure shortly we'll just frame the pictures and look at the joke between the two presidents, Mr. Mtsetwa and Chris. This is fun. This is beautiful. This is nice. It shows, it signifies the relationship between the two countries. Now, let's stop it here. Let's come back. Because from the first picture, I want to identify a few, faces there. Because I think you took pictures in 3 different sessions. Yes. This was first, just a board, the 14 members in the country, because even the vice president arrived today behind him. That's behind Chris.
Correct.
Yes. So it's the president, our president, with the board.
That is correct. Yes. We actually had one last vice president. So the president, Dr. Chris, is deputized by 3 vice presidents. Okay. So in this picture, you've got 2 of them who are sitting right next to them. The lady on the right-hand side of our president is the vice president from the Caribbean. Okay. And then the gentleman in the green shirt is the vice president, from Oceania. Okay. We've got one last vice president, Dr. Donald Rukare, who has just arrived. In fact, unfortunately, he had challenges with a transit visa through South Africa yesterday, so he had a 1-day delay. Okay. But he has arrived right in time for their board meeting tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. So this is the composition. This particular board was elected into office, as I mentioned earlier, in December last year. In Singapore. All
right. Now let's get to the next picture, because there are 3 pictures quickly as we look into other issues, because now that's from the main board. Now let's take a look at our board, which is the Eswatini Olympic Commonwealth Games Association board with the CGF board. And then at some point, maybe you highlight the negotiations. You had a discussion this evening. Maybe as we look at the picture, what are some of the things that you discussed as a board?
So
Let's hold
really,
it here, yeah.
yes, yeah, I think this one was with the staff of
the
yoga.
staff
But
of
nonetheless, with the board, we had very good engagements. We had discussions for about an hour this evening.
All right.
Where first of all, I did a presentation on yoga, where yoga comes from, where we are now, particularly zooming in on the programs that are supported by the Commonwealth Games Federation. They were very excited because one of the programs in particular is a program called Game Changers.
Okay.
Out of all the countries in the world, the CGF countries, I think our Game Changers program is the one that has made the biggest impact.
Okay.
So it is a program that they always use as a model wherever they go to. So they are quite excited with that program. What we also discussed was where the president of the CGF then informed us about some of the opportunities that are still coming. As you are aware that we've got 2026, the Commonwealth Games.
Okay.
They have not been concluded per se to finality, but I think the indication is that Glasgow is going to be the venue for the Games until they make the official announcement. There's still a bit of work going on behind the scenes. So we're really looking forward to that, Fabrice, because to be honest with you, everything that we do, we center it around the athletes. So for athletes to prosper, for athletes to have the motivation to carry on training and preparing themselves, you need the games to be set for them to look forward to.
All right, this is the Eswatini TV edition of Temidlalo on a Thursday, courtesy of the title sponsor, KFC Eswatini. We're just having a moment with the Chief Executive Officer of the Olympic Movement about the visit of the CGF board members in the country. Let's take a short break because he's still in the studio. When you come back, two more questions. What can we expect from this meeting? How can we benefit? And then we'll also let him go because he has to rest. He has got a long day. Otherwise, we'll be back after the break.
Order KFC on WhatsApp. +268 78 33 5151.
Win your share of millions in free shopping. Buy any participating product for a chance to win. Competition ends 6 October. Get 3 kg Sunlight hand washing powder for only $84.99. Baby Soft 2-ply toilet rolls, 18s, just $139.99. 1 liter liquid fruit, only $22.99. 1 kg Stock Country spread tub, just $43.99. Or 400 gram Koo baked beans in tomato sauce. Buy 2 for only 30 emalangeni.
And that's why we shop at Spar.
Hi-Fi Corp's big birthday sale is now on with even bigger savings. When you shop this Hisense 65-inch Smart UHD TV for only $8,499, save $4,500. Or this ASUS X515 Intel Celeron laptop for $4,799, save $1,700. Or this Russell Hobbs 30-liter electronic microwave for $1,499, save $300. Price is valid until 6 October 2024. T's and C's apply. Hi-Fi Corp, your #1 deal destination.
WhatsApp. +268 78 33 5151.
Now, if you're just joining us, this is your edition of Temidlalo on a Thursday. We're just having a moment with the CEO of Olympic Movement, Mr. Maxwell Chere, just about the visit of the 14 members coming all the way from the Commonwealth Games Federation. And we've had enough talk about it and just looking at also how we stand to benefit as a country, because since they landed in the country, this is the president on the right side of the screen. Next to him is the CEO. Chris has been in office since December and the board. So a lot we can benefit from the country. It will bring positive results in the near future. Who knows? Glasgow, yes, not confirmed, but who knows, we could do better in the upcoming competition. A tree planting earlier on, which is a memory of showing signs that we were the first country at some point that were visited by this board, and it will remain in our memories that we were visited by this board. So it means a lot. So by the time, and whatever time they will stay in office, that memory will be also staying with them to ensure that they know what they have done in the country. Now, they're in the meeting tomorrow, closed door. No one is supposed to attend the meeting.
Yes.
we will know the outcome. But through experience, CEO, you can maybe pick up the suggestions to say, can we say anything that will come of the meeting maybe may also affect us positively? Can we benefit anything from their meeting tomorrow?
Well, certainly, Fabrice, there's a lot. Maybe the first thing to mention is that board meetings of this nature are actually normally preparations for bigger meetings. So there is going to be a General Assembly for both Africa and Europe, which is going to be held in Mombasa, Kenya, on the 7th and 8th of October. So this board meeting, in fact, is a preparatory meeting leading to that annual General Assembly for the continent. So issues that are going to be discussed are issues touching upon some of the reports that they need to present at that General Assembly. Another issue on their table, obviously, is the issue of Glasgow, the Commonwealth Games 2026, where I'm sure they will be getting a presentation, because not only is the board here physically, but they are also going to be connected virtually on presentations that will be going on from all over the world. Some of them, they'll be getting updates and reports on certain processes and progress that is happening, one being the Commonwealth Games 2026. But what is key for Eswatini here that we're taking away is that for the CGF board to be here physically, as I mentioned earlier on, they're getting a clear impression, first-hand impression of what the country has to offer. Part of the discussions that have been going on, Fabrice, have got to do with some of the facilities that the country is developing. You are aware that government is in the process of trying to see how we can construct a new national stadium. So that is one of the big projects, you know, in the pipeline that is also going to complement the ICC and five-star hotel that is nearing completion. So what you normally do in situations like this is that you do a triangulation. If you've got the facilities in place, you've got a national stadium, a world-class stadium, you've got world-class accommodation facilities, then certainly you can start hosting events such as the Commonwealth Youth Games, because it's just a matter of upgrading the other existing sporting facilities. So it's no longer as expensive than starting from scratch. So these are the points which we are showing them, which they are really embracing as well. I've also been contacted by the organizers of the CGF General Assembly in Kenya, where they've slotted Eswatini in the program. So we do have a presentation. There's a presentation I'll be making to the entire CGF family from both Europe and Africa on the 7th of October in Mombasa. And where I'll be displaying really what we have done as a yoga, including this visit from this board. So all in all, this promotes the country. Others get to know about the country. A lot of these guests were coming to Eswatini for the first time. And if they live with good memories, there's a positive spill-off in tourism, because some of them will want to come back with their families into the country. True. And just the positive vibe really about the country that is going to be sold internationally.
All right, beautiful stuff. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Before I let you go, but we have to use the opportunity, because it's not every day we get a chance to have you in the studio. We recently from the Olympics in France, where I think we were representing the kingdom as well. And then issues were raised about the delegation that was representing the country. If I recall, we had only 4 athletes. Maybe on the side of athletes, it was clear that we didn't qualify. This was through the universal slot. But in terms of the supporting team, your chief de missions delegation and other members, what was the number that was required to attend the meeting compared to the number that we sent?
No, thanks, Fabrice. I think it's very important to utilize this opportunity to explain a few things which may be technical for a lot of people. Representation at the Olympic Games is through a system called the team size calculator. So this is a computerized system or model that is generated by the International Olympic Committee. So what happens here is that you get certain amount of slots, because you'll be given certain restrictions. I'll give you an example. A country such as Ethiopia, which has got good marathoners, where you may find that even up to 80 marathoners meet the qualification time for the Olympics. But the restriction is to say that a country can only take 3 marathoners to the Olympics. So what happens is that once a country has failed to meet any qualification standard, there is this principle of universality, which is an Olympic principle, basically, in a nutshell, that says that all countries in the world must participate in the Olympics. So as a country, we had always been updating the public and updating the media that through our efforts of sending all our athletes, we had given them so many opportunities to qualification events. Unfortunately, they all fell short of their qualification standards. But fortunately, through the universality slot, we were able to get 3 universality slots, as a country, 2 in swimming and 1 in athletics.
And sorry on that, and then the coach is not allowed as well?
No. So basically what you do is that you then have the technical officials that accompany these athletes. Technical officials, Fabrice, can be from your coach, from your physiotherapist, from your sports psychologist, to the team doctor and the like. So another example I'll give to you, some years ago, we are all going to remember a very popular sprinter from Namibia, Frankie Fredericks. When Frankie Fredericks was competing in the 90s and representing the continent well, Frankie Fredericks had a team size of 8. From his coach to the team doctor to the sports psychologist to a nutritionist. So what I'm trying to say, Fabrice, is that elite sport, when you get to that level, you have to have a complementing team that supports you. So an athlete really, in terms of the ratio at that level, is normally 4 minimum. You normally need to have your coach, your physio, your nutritionist, and a sports psychologist, because the issues of mental health, correct. So in our case, we had a team of athletes, 3, and then the team size calculator, which I was talking to you about, gave us an allocation of 4 technical officials. Now, sitting down and prioritizing, you'll appreciate, Fabrice, that these athletes of ours, Swazi Bolt, Sbusiso, Haley, Hoy, together with Chad Ning, they are all based outside the country. And as they are based outside the country, they are being coached by professionals outside the country. So when you then need to prioritize the technical officials that must travel, you take all that into consideration. These are all the factors that the Games Commission, together with the Board of Yoga, takes into consideration in the presence of the sports associations involved and in the presence of government involvement through the Sports Council. So in this case, because of the restriction, the decision that was taken is that since they are individual coaches who are based in South Africa, we're going to be traveling to the Olympics individually. Remember, those coaches, they coach various top athletes. So they all traveled to Paris, and we took advantage of that by the fact that we were not going to use our own funds. And it opened up the gap for us to actually introduce the sports psychologists, which is a very big call now internationally. So we had a team, really, Fabrice, of 7, the official team of Eswatini, which attended the games, and we had a financial contribution from government of 450,000 to send the team there. The expenses of going to the Olympics are probably triple what government gave us, but a majority of those expenses are covered by the hosts, the organizing committee, together with the International Olympic Committee.
All right, now that's now the team, that's the technicality. In the interest of time, let's just look at also there are special cases where, and maybe in your case as the SG or the CEO of the association and the president, you get a straight invitation. But then what happens when do board members get invitations as well? Because I think if I'm not mistaken, you did have here a few members that were invited. I know that the minister also gets an invitation for the opening of the ceremony. But even the invitation you get, because I'm happy that you'll be able to answer this, because this is the word that was out there, that does the invitation allow you to bring your partner to the event, or it's just me, Fabrice Musonera, board member, I travel, or I can be accompanied by Mrs. Musonera?
No, thank you, Fabrice, because, this is quite interesting because it excites a lot of people. I mean, we've been following what has been said in other platforms, but, in all honesty, the president of a National Olympic Committee, together with the Secretary General, gets straight invitations to the Olympics. Not only the Olympics, also the Commonwealth Games through the CGF. Because these are literally our games, Fabrice. The 206 National Olympic Committees worldwide all assemble at the Olympic Games. And these invitations, Fabrice, at this level, at the international level, I'll give you an example. Even on a political front, if the Prime Minister or the Minister travels to an international meeting, that invitation will also be extended to the spouse. Or the accompanying guest. And it is really up to you whether you take your accompanying guest, because normally the accompanying guest is not covered financially in terms of flight tickets. But because accommodation has been arranged, there are certain programs that they also participate in. So in our case, all these games that we get invited to, even other international meetings, we have the option of traveling with our accompanying guests, but we decide not to use them most of the times because it has to come from the pocket, Fabrice. When I travel with my wife to the Olympics, I have to purchase an air ticket from my wife. But everything else is covered because I've already got my accommodation and the like sorted there.
So
that's the first thing.
To cut you, CEO, those who traveled with their spouses during the event, they paid for their...
They pay for their thing. And then I wanted to come to the second point, Fabrice. We had always announced that anyone is free to travel to the Olympics. We encourage the public to reach out to our office. There is one board member, for instance, who reached out to us to say, I'm interested in traveling with my spouse and I will cover my own costs. And we try to assist, facilitate for that board member to travel at his own cost.
So that board member traveled,
correct,
and his spouse.
Correct, Fabrice. So, you know, sometimes it becomes a challenge because people see pictures and start assuming and generalizing that this has been financed by Iwoga, there's none such, because we don't have those kind of funds, Fabrice. Anyone can travel. It was not only that board member I'm talking about. We also had some of the parents of the athletes that we also assisted, we facilitated for, and others, you know, who traveled to the Olympics at their own cost.
Okay. Last, just to ensure that this issue is cleared, is to say that next time, can you give assurance to the public that now there's an opportunity to give young, talented coaches? Can you push them? The media as well. Yes, you just said that it's open for people to try their chances. Can the media get the chances? Can the public? Can the young coaches? Because not in a bad way, but as a board member, I can sacrifice but ngihambe with the coach of such and such sport for development.
The allocations in terms of the numbers, Fabrice, those are very open. There is no way that a board member can take an allocation of a coach, you see, because these accreditations are different.
Sure.
So when we say anyone can travel, when it comes to the Olympics, there are hospitality packages that are sold. We announced that month after month. Every time we had a press conference in the office, we were always announcing that anyone in the public who is interested to travel must contact the office, because we're in touch with you know, the institutions that have been given the right to sell these packages. So it is going to be like that, you know, going forward as well. What we can say in terms of coaches, you know, coaches are very close to our hearts, Fabrice, because we know very well that they are responsible for developing these athletes. We give coaches all the opportunity. We were in at the African Games in Accra. We traveled with local coaches. At times, it then has to go with the level where these competitions are. Because, you know, the Olympics are at the highest level, and the athletes that go there, more or less, are athletes that are coached outside the country. However, there's a lot of opportunities. Next week, we've got a delegation or a team that is going to Lesotho. They're traveling with local coaches. So the opportunities are always there, even for coaches' development. And we hope that we are going to get to a point whereby we have some of our local coaches that are accredited at the highest level.
Okay.
You've got Sluga, for instance, from swimming, who a few months ago went to Hungary.
True.
These are the sort of qualifications that we need as a country to prove that coaches can now coach at the highest level.
CEO, I think you and I can have an entire day and talk about everything. But one thing I'm picking from the CEO himself, Mr. Maxwell Jere, he does agree that some people did travel to that trip in Paris to the Olympics with their partners, but extra costs were paid to ensure that no protocols is being breached. And he did say that there is some kind of hospitality rules that are followed. So you invite a guest and he's allowed to bring at some point, a partner. So otherwise, also, I'm picking that there's going to be a trip to Lesotho shortly, so there's no suggestions that there'll be someone taking a partner. But more than anything, the main presence here was about the visit of the CGF that is in the kingdom, and we can't wait the results that will be produced by the visit of this delegation, 14 members. Thank you very much, Mr. Jere. Time is against us because I've got guys from Chase. They are from Hungary. We want to talk about their journey and how they ended up getting that bronze medal. But waiting for them to enter the studio, let's listen to some of the special speeches from the acting Prime Minister, Honorable Senator Trisile Dladla. We listen to the Minister for Sports. We listen to President Chris Jenkins, and we listen to also other speakers that were speaking during the entire day of this CGF tour in the kingdom.
Order KFC on WhatsApp +268 78 33 5151.
From His Majesty's mouth, feel at home, and he welcomes you with all his heart and strength, and that he is over the moon that you will be having your first board meeting outside the UK in Eswatini. So we're really privileged as a country. And again, we'd like to thank our president and the board members, our minister, our PS, for the role that they're playing in ensuring that they had to bring you together and you come to the kingdom. There's no doubt that they had an influence in that, and we are proud of them as well. Chris, please, whatever you need, you convey it through the minister. Would like you to be very comfortable so that you don't change your mind in the future. Whatever you need, you'll be offered.
We are very much happy to receive you. Hopefully all your discussions will go very well, and also you will get some time to see the beautiful country. And I would like to pronounce today to say, this is your home away from home. So you are, you will always be welcome to Eswatini. Whenever you want to have any event with us, I believe the CEO and the board from our side is ready to welcome you, and also the ministry and the government of the country is really
Babitang with CGF, that is the Commonwealth Games Federation, and Tsine Lakaya Sing Olympic and Commonwealth Games Association. So ke bandla leling lela Commonwealth bebatobona nemahhovisi ethu njengoba nibonile bahlanyela netihlahla letaba khomboso kithi ukuthi bake basivakashela.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, to feel the rush of life overwhelm you, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. You ask, and we give you. the royal experience. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. There are but a few places on earth so special, so unique, and so spectacular, where it becomes the rite of passage for the ambitious travelers, the courageous souls, to all have the one and only royal experience. That day when you look deep into your heart and leap into an ancient world so very different from your own, where magic, beauty, and love are shared forever, then you will have a royal experience. There is just one place on earth where the people make you feel a part of their kingdom, where you just might volunteer to awaken spirits, enrich minds, and work alongside communities to build, motivate, and inspire. This is truly the royal experience. When you dream of a different world, beyond the ordinary, beyond time, discover just how far you'll go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 762222000 or dial *007 *3 *7 hash. Or you can use Eswatini Imali. And you can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any NetBank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
Now, this is your edition of Temidlalo. We're doing things now differently because we're joined by the Eswatini chess team. They were in Hungary and they were taking part of the 45th Olympiad chess competition. Two teams, open section and ladies section. Now, on the far right, I've got the SG of the association, Qiniso Matsebura. I've got Snobile Dlamini, part of the ladies team, and then Umguni Qenwami was part of the men's team. Mkhulu, sikuvusela namhlanje baba.
Sithatha leli fuba sinivusele nonke babukele ekhaya sibonga kakhulu ukuba nathi ehlelweni Fabrice.
Nkosi, what an achievement. 5th in the competition. Ujabule kanganani? You're back home.
Ngijabule kakhulu kudlaleke kahle sahamba nakahle sabuya siphephile simaswati sibonga isupport lesitholile ezikhamba kwethu nekuthi sidlale saphumelela ngikhonile ke mina ukuthi ngidlale kahle ngithole i-title so sengi-candidate master yes.
So you can hold a class ngofundzisa kahle.
Yes.
Good. Number 3, bronze.
Ish.
How tough?
Personally, ngijabule kakhulu over this one because it was not expected, not the least. I think going to final round, we were somewhere in the middle of the table, and that final round is where the magic happened. So it was totally unexpected.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Mkhulu, because there's a lot you need to talk about on behalf of the open section. But kuwe Mkhulu mhlawumbe nje 2022 India bo sinqobile babuye ne gold on behalf of the ladies. This time around they're number 5. This time around the men's team have got a bronze. Kini as an association, kusho kuthini? You've been at the helm of this team. What does it mean for you as an association?
Sibonga kakhulu Fabrice lapho vele eIndia ema ladies efasenda saba proud kakhulu. Cabanga ukuthi naloku uthemba ukuthi kukhona lesingakwenda kulama World Chess Olympiads kwatalelwa ngiwo iperformance yawo. Ngithi nje ngibike ukuthi na this time they were actually half a point away from podium finish. So had they gotten just 1/2 point, not match point, half point, good draw nje munye umdlalo kule game yabo yekugcina, they would have been on the podium. That's all they needed. So the performance yabo was extremely good kule Olympiad le. And Masters Balma match point, 1 match point, they were taking gold. So that's how close they were to winning, to being on the podium again, Naglena, Olympiad. So we're very excited in the performance here, Yama Ladies F, and we're also very much excited in the performance here, Boputi, because this year, the ladies did not fluke. Kukhona lemfole sipheka kola kangwane and seyiyavupha.
Sinqobile, yeah, Master Sinqobile, we need to give the data. Fana dokotela usho sibani usho dokotela sibani. Yes, 5th in the competition. Akufana na 2022 you were number 1, but this time around so ubuye so master. Yes. Itsine stawuzuzani kuwe ngoba nyala so master. Are you going to open classes? Kutawendekani? Wena personally tuthuthukisa kanjani? Are you going to carry on and compete? Sichazele nje.
Iplan yami ukuthi ngiqhubeke ngikompete plus encourage labanye labancane ma ladies because sibancane ngala ma ladies, so sidinga more ema girls la ngeta kudodlala. So if I think lokungivelelana ngidaba encourage labanye ukuthi basonzele badodlala ichess bangayesabi, ayisiyo olukhuni nethi nje challenge ingqondo but nje enjoy na so ngekhathi kwayo. Yes.
Nkulu. Nasotayela. This is the medal. I can say ukuthi yasiza. Maybe usivetera nje ukuthi have you started thinking of doing this as a profession? Ngoba bon India na ubabuka nje they are taking another stage.
Oh yeah. See, that's a difficult one, especially in Africa. For us, like Africa, this is the only event that's as a team, and the performance your team versus the performance as an individual, not the same.
Fun,
yeah, because in chess you could have a performance 5 out of 7, and can't for the next.
Okay.
But in a team, you get a performance 5, another member gets a performance 4, 3, and somehow you team perform Yeah, so it's difficult to pursue a career as an individual, but as a team.
Okay. Sadla na Ethiopia, Cameroon, there are visuals I want us to look at. When you went to the stage, man, you are there in the middle, you're checking if the match is say megahle. Men proud ganganani nje ukuthi sesimelele live la.
Hey, Mr. Sonera, yabona le moment le I don't think empilweni yami ngiyoke ngikhohle. I had chills all over la mtimbeni. Bengivanga ngathi kuyashisa phinze kumakhata. At the same time yabona siyathi umhlaba wonke usibukile, siyathi ekhaya bayajabula, siyathi batali, ama sponsors, sports council, government wonke mvulo ufake support towards kuphumelela kwalo midlalo. Is there looking and they are thinking, wow, this is what I'm talking about, and we have done it. And siyathi ukuthi bajabulile ekhaya, yabona moment leyo, be priceless kakhulu. Besijabule kakhulu, phinze besathi ukuthi it's only the beginning. Kuningi lekusafuna sikupheke kuze kuthi nasiphinze sibuyelana next time. Ma sponsors abe encouraged, hulumende abe encouraged, nalabanye tihlele ekhaya tibe encouraged.
Before I left, I changed the point now. Ngathi besides the medal, number 3 male section, 5 number ladies, number 5. Nitholele umunye umhlomelo ukuthi you're the best dressed team.
That's correct.
Babukani okay, asipinde sibuye kulesithume ukuthi bakhethani nababuthini you're the best dressed team.
Ngiyacabanga lokho sinalobuhle nje appearance count but kakhulu nababuka le uniform babuka branding babuka yes babuka how it fits on you as lo mflo igcokile bese sebabuka na your national colors ukuthi
ngikhonile ama oversize
ungagcoka ama oversize na national colors akho khonile ni kwa captureisha baphinze babuke njengoba usibona nje lapha besigcoke amasudu laphelele navy blue was the color we went with, which is close to the royal blue on the national flag, and then we had our sponsor right here. And then Unifoods nayo lesithandza kumbonga kakhulu kusichasisa ngale lamasudu la siwagcokile nayo yonke le uniform was sponsored by Unifoods. So we had golf tees, we had formal shirts, we had neckties, we had full suits for the men, we had full suits for the women, and chiffons for the women. So it was a complete suit. Basipha category ya best dressed national team kuyo yonke le Olympiad. This is big because kusho ukuthi belungu nema-dollar nema-pound nema-euro nema-Danish nani sabehlula bonke sisenza nje langeni thina nasibudgeta silungisa lesuit, so it's a very big achievement.
Nembongele nomuntu wana ayinera ngoba ngathi umsebenzi. Before I let you go, any value in terms of money?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to explore that one.
But you value the money.
There should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wouldn't want to find out.
Words of encouragement. Utsini labanye bosisi la ngaphandle bafuna ukudlala chess.
Lengakusho ukuthi bangavela ukuthi bete bangangithinta nami if bafuna kufunza ngikhona futhi ngeke sengize ngicharge for my ladies, so if ufuna kufunza ichess ungeta kutofunza mahala ha.
Show inombolo yakho quickly siyahamba.
Inombolo yami ithi 77992232.
922320. Now good, siyabonga Sam. All right, Qiniso, time is against us. Words of encouragement siyahamba. Yeah,
ngiyabonga kakhulu Mr. Msonera, ngithanda kusasa lelifuba ngibonga kakhulu emaswati onke isupport lenisinike yona nakubo social media. You were there rallying behind us. Ngiphinze ngithathe lelifuba ngifundzise kancane nje Msonera through you. Nakuphumela ive noma ngabe sihlangu noma yini ungayi lapha ku social media uthi mosivele batawubuya nabo ginci. Lemfo leyo yapho seyabalimata labanye badlali bethu. Siyacela ukuthi show some support. Usho nje uthi we are rallying behind you. Nasesibuyile ke nalo 0 so ngasho ukuthi habe sivele sathi kusakugala.
Bonga Eswatini TV, phela Eswatini TV kunika coverage every day.
So cool Eswatini TV, they daily covered us. They wanted an update. They made sure they cover us emini nasendzambama sometimes. So siyabonga kakhulu Msonera ne team yakaswazi TV lebe isolo make sure ukuthi Maswati we keep them updated. Sibonga kakhulu kubonga kwethu kuncane.
Nangamnika ithuba ukuthi akhulume. He won't finish the fish. We had to leave. Otherwise, let's finish the show because it was a beautiful day. We did have a conversation. This is the under-20 team that is actually taking part of the COSAFA, which is also happens to be the AFCON qualifiers. First game against Mozambique was 5-4. Then Group A against Botswana and Zimbabwe. That's how we round up the show this evening. It's been beautiful. Temidlalo, title sponsor, KFC Eswatini. We can't wait for Monday. Other details will be following.
Order KFC on WhatsApp. +268 78 33 5151.